Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. I am back with part number 2 of my Q&A. So it has been, it's probably been almost 2 months. It's been a little while since I did part 1 of my Q&A, and I said maybe I would be coming back and doing some more questions, answering some more questions, because I got lots of questions over on Instagram. And then when I posted my video, I got some more questions in the comments section that I wanted to address today as well. So I have a few more questions to answer today. If you are new here to my channel, I am Julie. I'm a mom to 5, a homeschooling mom of 5, and I post a lot of motherhood, homeschooling, large family food content on my channel. So if you are new here, I would love it if you'd hit that subscribe button. But let's get started with some of these questions. We'll jump right into it. And so we'll start off with a really easy one. What is your favorite season? My favorite season is definitely summer. I try, and as I've gotten older, I have started to enjoy each season for what it is. Even the winter, there are parts of winter I really enjoy, especially as my kids get older. I think when my kids were really young, it was so hard to enjoy winter. I just dreaded it, but I do enjoy parts of every season. Summer is my favorite. This question, what has been your favorite age stage when raising children? That is such a tricky question. I enjoy some things about all of my kids, the age they're at right now. So I have a 12, 10, 8, 6, and 4-year-old. Actually, 12, when you see this video, 12, 10, 9, 7, and 4. I'm just a couple days away from my 3rd and 4th children's birthdays. But I love the age Wesley is right now. That like 3, 4-year-old age is pretty fun. They're much more independent. But they still need you. They still need mommy a lot. My oldest kids are getting to a fun age again where they are more mature and can have more like adult conversations. But they're each fun in their own way, and the fun thing is their ages are always changing, and so we're always finding new fun ages, but also some tricky parts of each age as well. I'm gonna take off my sweater. I thought I'm gonna wear a sweater because it's fall and a sweater would be really fitting for this video, but it is a warm day and this is a really warm sweater, so I'm just gonna throw that away for now. Another question I got is how to do a unit study for homeschool. We've never done one and I'd like to try. Well, I have never put together my own unit study, and if you want to put together your own unit study, you could do it, and kudos to you, but we use Gather Around, and that curriculum, the unit study is all put together. I just have to buy the book and it's all prepped for me. And there are other curriculums that have their own unit studies too. Do some Google searches, find some other unit studies. We really enjoy the unit study curriculum style. It's really worked well for our kids, but I have definitely not been adventurous enough to make our own. How old were you when you got married? I was 20, so when we got married, Andrew and I were both 20. I am 9 months older than him, so he had just turned 20 a couple months before, and I was a month away from turning 21, but I'm glad we got married when we did, when we were both 20, because even though I'm older, when we got married, we were the same age. I wasn't older than him. This question, I meant to spend some more time thinking through this question and how to answer it, because I feel like I have to address it and it just makes me sad to read this question. So I don't know if I'll have a good answer, but it says, how do you enjoy motherhood? I feel like I'm drowning and I hate it. That makes me just feel really sad for you, and I know that motherhood is... Do I feel like I'm drowning sometimes? Absolutely, yes. I think mostly finding enjoyment in motherhood is just knowing that God has put me in this place right now, in this season of life. And we as mothers are doing remarkable work raising little children. What a way to affect the future generation and more future generations to come by raising these little ones. Now I can say that, but how does that realistically make you enjoy motherhood in the day-to-day? Every day, especially when my kids were younger, it was like every morning praying, God, please give me patience today. Please help me to be a patient and loving mother. Routines are big for me. And I think for most people, if you have some sort of routine for yourself, for your kids, maybe that'll help your day flow smoother. It's always been important for me to have a little chunk of time in the afternoon where my kids have a quiet time, especially when they were little. It was like, this is our time. Like, we can do something in the mornings. I'm free from about 9 till 1. And then again from maybe 3:30 and into the evening. But that time in the middle of the day, 1 to 3:30, we're home. My kids need a nap. And now we're not so stranded by that. But I say stranded, meanwhile, I love it. I love to be home during that period in the afternoon because I need some downtime. But when my kids go for a little quiet time, it just gives me, right now, this is my kids' quiet time as I'm filming this, and it gives me just a little bit of a break, a little bit of a breather. I just finished filming this whole Q&A and was thinking about this question and wanted just to come back on real quick to say one more thing on this topic. Sometimes we get so caught up in motherhood with keeping our house, doing the laundry, making sure everything's cleaned up and picked up and beds are made and the kids' hair is done and they're looking good. And if we're homeschooling, making sure we have all the curriculum ready. And there's just so much to worry about, so much to spend our time on, that if you are not enjoying motherhood, maybe it's time to take a step back from the homemaking part of it and just sitting down and trying to enjoy your children. I know I have to remind myself of this sometimes. Like, it's time to take a little break from just doing things for my kids and actually sit down and just talk with my child for a little bit. Play a game, just have a little chat, go for a walk together, and just try to get to know your child better, grow that relationship with them, and maybe that will help you a little bit in just enjoying motherhood. First, just enjoying your children, enjoying getting to know them. I have always loved little kids and I've always wanted to be a mom, and so I think maybe that is more easy for me than for some to just kind of slip right into motherhood and just as a whole enjoy it even during those hard times. I enjoy being a mother. So if you guys who are watching have any other tips for this mama, please leave those down below in the comments. And I hope that every day, even through hard days, you can find something enjoyable about being a mom, about spending time with your kids. This next question, how do you handle sibling bickering? How involved do you get when they are arguing? That's a tricky one, and I'm always going back and forth on like, okay, just let them fight for a little bit, let them argue, or, oh, I should be jumping in, and just knowing what is appropriate. And right now, just lately, I think just with it turning into fall and the kids being indoors more, I've noticed them being at each other more, and I've noticed, I have wished a few times recently, I wish we had a basement. If we had a basement, I wouldn't be at the kids so much, because right now they've been really into playing with the toys on the main floor of our house, which is just, all of our rooms are fairly open and just kind of in this main living space. And so if I'm in the kitchen, I can hear them playing really well. And so if they are fighting, I just can't ignore it. I just hear it. I try to ignore it, but the volume very quickly gets to me and I'm like, I'm done. Whereas I think if they were in the basement, maybe I wouldn't jump in to intervene quite so quickly. I do let them argue for sure. They need to figure out how to resolve those arguments between each other. But if the volume gets too loud, again, if they're close by me and the volume gets too loud, I'm like, nope, you're done. Stop arguing. And of course, if it gets physical, or if some older kids are very obviously bullying the younger kids, it's like, this isn't just a peaceful argument anymore. You are bullying. This needs to stop. So I do intervene a bit, but I try to give them some space too and let them attempt to resolve things on their own. Sometimes it just goes on and I'm like, nothing's being resolved here. So we'll either have a chat and I say, you know, you need to be kind, put others before yourself. Sometimes you need to talk with them about how they should be treating each other, and sometimes I'm just like, You go over there, you go over there. You guys just need some space. Nothing productive is happening here. I am going to jump over right now to a question I got on my video. Okay, one question I have, I was wondering if you have any book recommendations on the topic of puberty and sex. I think I can say that. Can I say that in a video? That word, and all those things for the children. I always thought the conversation would flow easily, but it really hasn't. I don't want it to be awkward. So I did bring some books over here to show you guys during this video. So, oh, I forgot the one. Okay, the one book that is great for girls, and a lot of you have probably heard of it. It's by American Girl. It's called The Care and Keeping of You. It's in the girls' room. I forgot to grab it before this video. But it is great talking just about the girl side of puberty, nothing about sex at all. It's just very innocent, like talking about what's gonna happen, bodily changes during puberty, emotionally, just kind of how to care for yourself as you're growing into that age. And so I would say that's very appropriate for girls about age 8 or older. This is a book for girls. This is a big thing for me. I think parents, especially on this topic, are very careful to like, okay, we need to teach our girls about this. And then sometimes boys get older and are clueless. I feel like this book might not be in print anymore. I did have to find it on eBay or something, but this book goes more into detail just on what actually is your period. Not just like, oh, you need to be ready for this every month, but what is actually happening, menstruation, ovulation, what's happening. Because I want to be very open in talking with my girls, and I do, about this topic, but sometimes I'm not great at saying exactly what is happening. Your uterine wall shedding, and then the process of how ovulation happens and all that stuff. A book is helpful for teaching them all that information. A book I have got for my older boys. I will link all of these books down below as well in the description box so you can check them out. I'll link them on my Amazon store. So this book is Growing Up God's Way for Boys. Let me just see if it says I'm sure it says an advice on what age they should be reading it. I don't see anything. But I would say this one, it depends whenever your boy starts asking questions, but it does go into the topic of sex as well as puberty. And then I also have these ones. So these books are called God's Design. They're just very little books. This one here is suggested age 3 to 5. And I mean, if you want to read this to your 3-year-old, I guess that's fine. For my kids personally, I would say like, this is a good one for 5 to 8. And so it just talks really simply about the process of a mom being pregnant and the baby being born and what the difference is between girls and boys. And then this book called Before I Was Born, God Knew My Name. This is from that same series. So this is book number 1 of the series. This is book number 2. This one says for ages 5 to 8. And so, you know, I would probably say this one for my kids, I've introduced it at about ages 8 to 10 because it goes on and talks more about, again, the difference between boys and girls, and then into what boys and girls go through with puberty as well. And so these are the only 2 I have in the series so far. There are, wait a second, I'm trying to remember if there's 3 or if there's 4. There's 4. So you can see the 4 of them back there. So it is about time for me to buy the 3rd book, but we're just gradually working through these. And I know what you mean about knowing how to talk about it with your kids. And I feel like I'm very like, okay, whenever they ask questions, I will answer age appropriately. And so I have done that. But at the same time, I've had a child or 2 who just doesn't really ask questions. Like I have kids who are curious and who I will answer them and have told them quite a bit just because they ask. And then I have a couple of kids that I'm like, okay, you're getting to an age, you never even ask questions. It's just time for me to buy you a book and kind of, you know, push you a little bit and open up and introduce the topic because you're getting to an age where it's time for you to know this stuff. And so every child is different, but those are some books that I have found helpful for us. Again, in the description box, in the comments below, if you have more book suggestions, I'm sure that I would enjoy seeing those. Other people would enjoy seeing those as well. So feel free to share those. Another question, do you find yourself shopping online? Totally different topic. Do you find yourself shopping online more than in physical stores? 100% absolutely. I shop, so if I'm talking about well, groceries, I almost always shop online too, so I guess I could include that. But if I'm shopping for whether it's household needs, clothes, entertainment, home decor, like any of that stuff, I would say my online shopping is about 90% of my shopping. Online shopping is convenient. It also is easier for me to go and see exactly what is available. I can filter, you know, let's see the cheapest things to the most expensive things. Let's see the newest release to the oldest release. Let's see what's on sale for 70% off or whatever. You can just organize what you want to see. And also a lot of stores recently, just in the past few years, I guess, a lot of stores have a lot of stock that is online only. So even if you went in store, you wouldn't find those items. So I just find it so much easier. There are also stores that do free returns, like free mail-in returns. And then I was gonna say one other thing, one other pro to online shopping. Oh, there are websites you can use where you can get cash back when you shop online too. So for me, it is just a win-win. I just have a couple more questions here. This one, oh, how long does your homeschool day last? So we try to start our school day at 9 o'clock and we're usually basically done by 1:30 or 2. Yeah, I'd say 1:30 or 2. That is including, so like school doesn't take that whole 5-hour time. This also includes our lunch, and the kids each have some chores they do at lunch, and that is typically how long our school day will last. It starts very intensive, like I need to be teaching them all these different lessons, and then as the day goes on they get more into their independent subjects, so I am not needed that entire time. Okay, this is an interesting one. Why do you put so much effort in teaching the Bible to kids? Why is that so important? Because I am a Christian, I'm a born-again Christian, and God and the Bible are that important to me. And so I am teaching my kids that as well. I am teaching them about the Bible, about God, about Bible stories, but I am also trying to teach them to have a personal relationship with God. And so that teaching our kids the Bible is a very important thing in our family. My last question, this is kind of a fun one. What are your biggest unexpected pros and or cons of doing YouTube? So I have been doing YouTube. I've been doing it for a long time now. I started my YouTube channel, if you guys don't know, I started my YouTube channel when Zara was about 6 months old. So it has been 6.5 years now. She is just turning 7. And the biggest pros, probably the best pro I have found, is just how many friendships I have formed through YouTube. And so when I first started my channel, I thought, oh, I'm gonna team up with some other channels and meet some other YouTubers, like like chat online or whatever. And I have definitely done that and have made some good friendships. But I didn't realize how many people I would have who watch my channel, who don't have a channel, who have reached out to me, and we have started chatting and getting to know each other and becoming friends through YouTube, or mostly through Instagram. We'll chat. And I went to a homeschool conference last month, and I was able to meet 2 people who have watched my channel and who I've chatted with online, and it was just so special. My one friend, we went out for lunch and we were out for a couple hours and just chatted, and it was so fun to get to know each other. So I would say those friendships have been a super big pro of YouTube. An unexpected con, can I think of something? I guess this shows how much I enjoy having a channel, because an unexpected con, I guess my channel has so gradually grown, and it has gradually taken up more and more of my time, and I enjoy it, and it's my hobby, and I love it. I really enjoy doing it. But once in a while, I'll just step back and think, oh, what would I do if I didn't have a channel? I would have so much more free time. And it's just kind of crept up on me, because my channel, as it's grown, it just gradually requires more work, more emails I'm having to reply to regularly, a lot more comments, and I'm going on and responding to comments. It's gradually taking more of my time. And so sometimes I step back and think, what would life be like if I had a couple hours of free time every afternoon? It would definitely be different. But then again, it's my hobby and I really enjoy it. So I honestly don't even think of that as being a con, because I just really enjoy this. So I'm gonna stop right there. Those are the questions I'm answering today. I hope you enjoyed this Q&A and give it a thumbs up if you did. And that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.